We've been seeing these issues with email delivery, especially if you try to send any emails to Google at the moment. It seems Google has increased their sensitivity around all the various validation rules they use to be able to verify that your email is legit. We've seen a massive up spike and trend um, for additional spam, phishing emails, and other junk coming in. We're seeing 400 ourselves in our own environment. We're seeing thousands of junk emails that are getting past the initial spam filters and that aren't being deleted, but are being tagged as quarantine. So that sort of suggests that the scammers out there are really ramping up their activities to try to get through your defenses. So, what does this mean? Well, there's a bunch of different records that we put against your domain to protect your identity. And the way email works is instead of you wrapping everything up and protecting it, securing it all the way delivered to the other person, no, it's up to the other system, the receiver, in this case Google, to verify who you are and that things haven't been modified or tampered with in flight for that email. Now, originally, to be able to deliver an email, you needed to know where to send an email to. And this is what an MX record, right? So that allows people to find you, right? So it's a mailbox record. Right. The next thing that we had that we added was what's known as an SPF record. Don't worry about what it actually means. What it does is it contains a list of all the systems that are approved to send emails on your behalf. So when the recipient, in this case Google, gets that email, they're going to call back to your domain, look for that record, and then go, okay, so I've got the name of the server that sent this. I'm going to check to see if it's on the list. If it's not on the list, then it's highly suspicious. It's likely to be flagged as email. This is why when you go get a mass mailer and all that sort of stuff, you generally have to update these records because there's other systems sending emails on your behalf. So you need to make sure that's right. But there's two additional layers. It's more, but there's two additional layers specifically that Google is now pretty much mandating, right? And this is known as DKIM and DMARC. And what these do is the first one puts a special little digital signature on your email, which allows the recipient to verify that signature and then also verify whether or not that email has been modified in any way through. Very important. We're seeing a lot of situations where people will email others' bank details. They're being modified by a malicious actor on the way through, and the person at the other end ends up sending money into the wrong account, sometimes thousands, hundreds of thousands, even dollars. And it's an incredibly complex process to go and get that money back. Sometimes you never can. So DKIM is a approach to try to help protect that. It doesn't stop it, but it does help give you some indication of whether or not the message has been modified. The next layer is what's known as DMARC. Basically, all this does is saying if any one of the first two ones, the SPF or the DKIM, say the server identity was wrong, it failed on that, or it failed on the DKIM, what to do with the message. Now, you need to have this message, and there's three things in there, three stages that you do with that particular message. One, you can just do nothing, right? You can tell the other system don't do anything with that. This is good in the early stages, but you should always have a reporting email address and even a forensics email address of where that goes to. Sends machine coded stuff, but you need to have a service that actually understands that. The other one is quarantine or reject. And there's even another special one which says any emails that get sent to a on a subdomain that you may or may not set up. So think Andy at blah.theexacttext.com, right? We don't have a blah subdomain, but we put a reject on that. So that if it fails, it's immediately going to reject the email. So this is very, very important because people can impersonate you by using that subdomain. So here's those 3 records, and this is what it all means. So go back and speak with your technical people. It could be your website developer, it could be your MSP, or if you really get stuck, please, please, please give us a call. We'd love to be able to help you out because this is a very real problem. Okay? Email is still the lifeblood of your business in terms of your communications channel. You need to be able to send these emails. Google's one of the first movers. I know Microsoft is moving to do the same, and other big providers will do the same very shortly. Get this stuff right and make sure it stays right. Otherwise, every email you send is going to bounce. That's not good for business.